Welcome to episode 15 of Go, the Mission. We out here broadcasting once again from St. Joseph, Michigan. I'm your host, Corey Johnson. Missions is my passion, and I'm thankful for yet another opportunity to educate, enlighten, and encourage those of you who are interested in missions. If this is your first time listening or not, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this with somebody. Just search for Go the Mission on just about any podcast provider like Spotify, Apple, Google, and many more. You can also find the show on YouTube. Big news, guys. We got a fresh new sponsor for the podcast, and I'm repping it right now. Yes, Jesus is. This is from the clothing brand Where Jesus Is. You know, it's so cool and different because more often than not, people who speak about religious things, they want to give you their complete thought and then have you react to it and just accept it right off the bat or not. But here at Where Jesus Is, the whole process changes. Instead of just telling people, now people get a chance to think about it for themselves. And it's a great conversation starter. I got mine and wore it on a trip just the other day, and I had people complimenting me on the shirt. Give people around you a chance to think about Jesus for themselves and Where Jesus Is. You can follow them on Instagram and make your orders under @WhereJesusIs. All right. My guest today is a former student and a fellow chaplain. Yes, indeed. Super funny, but at the same time, super deep. A graduate of Palau Mission Academy and a current soldier in the U.S. Army, Kalikeo, Takeo. What's up, my man?
What's up?
Man, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Private Kalikeo Takeo, also known as Kali, or in the Army right now, they call me TKO.
Yeah, oh, I like that. I like that.
TKO. Yep, it's stuck. I went to PMA and SDA for a full 12 years.
One of the few.
Well, was a chaplain my freshman, sophomore year. I skipped junior, take a break. And I became SA chaplain for the school my senior year. And
yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, man. We had a lot of fun working together and trying to make an impact on our fellow students and missionaries over at Palau Mission Academy. And definitely great experiences for sure. You know what? I'm going to put a link up to a talk that Callie did for a student week of prayer, so you guys can check that out. Just so you know, this guy knows what he's talking about, man, and he's such a great guy, and I was so glad to work with him. So I'm gonna put that up there. You'll see it on the screen right there. Yeah, that's it right there, and you'll be able to go check that out. All right. So, Callie, first question I gotta ask you. You know, this is how we usually start it up. What does mission and service mean to you?
Not see. How do you say this, man? I'm at loss for words right now. I'm kind of nervous.
It's okay. Let me get you to respond to the question again. For some reason, it lost the connection.
Okay. Oh man, God's plan.
Round two. Take two.
Round two. Take two. Nothing happened. Take one. All right. Mission to me is doing something where it might not benefit yourself, but it benefits someone else. Like you're doing something where you know that you're gonna be somewhere you don't know where you're gonna be. Like, oh man, I might be living in a forest for the next 2 months, but you know, it's still an adventure. It's fun. It's amazing, and you get to help people out while you're still having fun and spreading God's word. It's awesome. It's great. It's being a witness.
Yo, I like that. Like, this is something that I'm not sure I've heard someone say in how they've described mission and service yet, that it's fun and exciting. Like, and I really want to highlight that because for me, the most fun and the most excitement that I've had in my life's experience has come due to my connection to Palau. Whether or not it was me actually being there and the things that I was able to discover there, or the connections and the things that I was able to do as a result of being there. Definitely by far the most fun. And even like this right now is an extension of that, you know? And every time that I'm out here having one of these podcasts is fun for me. So, man, that's such a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think enough people understand how fun and exciting missions and actually serving, living for other people can be. So, thank you for that, man.
Yeah.
Chaplain, see, try to tell y'all this dude's a chaplain. Look at him dropping the knowledge already. We barely even started talking here, already dropping knowledge, my man. So, Callie, TKO, tell us a little bit
TKO.
about your experience with missionaries.
Well, my experience with missionaries, there've been a lot of highs and a lot of lows. you know,
That's all right. We
uh,
keep it real.
we keep it real. Sometimes you got really good missionaries. They want to come out, spread the word of God and just hang out with you, and it's fun. They make a connection with you.
Mm,
There are some where they just want to teach, like they just
mm,
teach, work, 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 and that's it. And they don't see a connection with us. They just see, I gotta teach them, and that's it, and I just
hmm
go home. Those are some of the lows that I've experienced. Yeah,
I
just
see. I see. And it's fair because we do keep it real. And I want to point out when it comes to mission and service, it's not called a job. Like we're not out there to do a job of being a PE teacher like I was my first time there, or a chaplain like I was when I came back later, or a Bible teacher, or whatever the position is. Mission and service goes beyond that. And the key word that Callie mentioned is the connection. Like for it blows my mind when people come to a place like Palau. Like you've already taken that 23, 24-hour flight to get out there and you're not going to make the effort to connect with somebody. Like wow, that blows my mind. And this is just me saying that from my perspective as another missionary, but here you're listening to a student tell you of the impact that it has on their experience in school of not being able to connect with the one who's trying to teach them. And unfortunately, it is the case, and it is a reality that some missionaries do come out there and view it as a job. And I can honestly say that from what I've noticed and seen, that it's the ones who come out there with that kind of mentality who have the hardest time, obviously, because there's no connection. There's no there you feel like it's just you against the world because the only thing you're trying to connect with is the classroom. And there are so many more areas worth engaging in the mission field than just the classroom, trust me. Even missionaries who have had some of the roughest times in a classroom can have great experiences because they realize that it's not just about the classroom. And so keep that in mind, those of you who are considering missions. You are going to fulfill a position, but it's more than just that. It's bigger than that. Try to connect in the best way that you can with the people that you're going to serve and to be a missionary for. And it's basically a guarantee that you're going to have a great experience, even if you're not the best teacher. I mentioned this before. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I'm not certified to be a teacher. I know that in my teaching experience, I did not have, it wasn't all good all the time. I know that I had some rough times in those experiences. But if you ask me if I would go back to Palau and do it all again, oh, yeah, absolutely. you know, because of the experiences outside of the classroom and how those relationships ended up improving my stuff inside the classroom. So there's a give and take there that missionaries have to be aware of. So Callie is one of the most unique people that I will talk to in regard to this question of his experience with missionaries, because literally he went through 13 years of new teachers and a new environment in school, like year after year after year, from kindergarten all the way up to graduating 12th grade. What is it like knowing that people are coming more often than not for just a year and trying to connect with them? Like how man, I don't even know how to ask the question, but what is it like trying to deal with that?
Well, for me, earlier on, I didn't really understand it, so I was just like, oh, we just have another different teacher. But as I learned about like the system, like we have new teachers coming in and out and in, I was like, oh man, I guess they're just teachers then. I don't really
Mm,
have to care. They're just gonna be here, and I'm not gonna talk to them anymore until think it was my fourth grade year.
Hmm.
Had a really good teacher. Uh, Loved her. She was so great. You know, she was like one of our best friends in the class. We had so much fun together. And I was just like, dang, I'm gonna miss this person for, and I just known her for like a year at least.
Mm.
And that's when it hit me. I was like, dang, I don't really like this because
Mm.
I get to have a really deep connection with someone for a year, like that I spent 8 hours a day, you know,
Mm.
5 days a week, and we just become this like we have like this kind of level of friendship on a like a student teacher basis,
Hmm.
like that. I don't want them to leave. Like I want them to be my teacher again and again and again,
Mm.
but I know that won't happen. But I don't know. I just learned to deal with it because it's sad sometimes, and I do get really sad, but you know, just gotta go on.
Wow.
Go on.
You know, it's cool that you mentioned that particular year because if memory serves me correctly, your fourth grade year was my first year in Palau.
Yup.
So, you know, we out here going way back.
Way back.
Man, I tell you, man, Callie was just as funny back in fourth grade as he is now. And I want to say too that whenever you feel like you want to shout out a teacher, by all means, go ahead. When it
Okay.
comes to the not so great situations, we'll leave those unnamed. We'll speak in generalities.
Yep.
But just so you know, don't feel bad for wanting to shout out a great missionary and somebody who had an awesome impact on you, bro.
All right. That shit sounds good.
So, do you feel like within kind of what you've described on both ends of the spectrum there with missionaries, that they met your definition of mission and service? Why or why not?
I believe so, because I got to know them and God
Mm.
more throughout the years. Like my knowledge of like the Bible, it just grew and grew along with the missionaries that I met over the years. So I believe that they fulfilled the mission to be
Mm.
missionaries.
Hey, look at this dude, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. So tell me about some of your favorite missionary moments, some things that they did you really appreciated from your entire vast experience of interacting with missionaries.
Ooh, my favorite missionary moments. That's a lot to think about. Um, the most recent one, I think, yeah, I think it was junior year, and I had left the school to go to close up program to come here in the States, and that interfered with a lot of my schoolwork, and I had to skip the exams. But for one class, I had to do a presentation. I had to do an experiment, write a paper on it, and turn it in.
Mm.
So I had planned to do that when I got home because there wasn't enough time to do it in the hotel rooms, and that'd be a big hazard to
Mm.
blow up the hotel bathrooms doing experiments. Um, didn't want to pay for that. So as soon as I got home, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna do the project real quick, and I messaged my teacher at the time for chemistry. Um, Morgan Rogers.
Shout out.
And shout out. And I asked her, "Oh, okay, can I do this for the project?" And she said, "Oh no, it's fine. I trust you. I trusted you to do that. You would do the project, so I just gave you a grade for it." I was like, "Yo, yo,"
That's clutch.
because that's clutch. And I've never been given that amount of trust before for like an assignment
Mm.
because actually sometimes I tend to procrastinate most of the time. So uh, I'm not really that trustworthy. But the fact that she the fact that she trusted me and gave me a grade for it, I was like I really appreciated that, and it was awesome.
Wow. How did that impact you?
That impacted me. It showed me that they actually do trust us, and they actually you know uh, they actually have faith in us to do our work or anything that we've been told. Like, it's crazy that we got to that level. It's crazy.
Wow. That's awesome, man. Tell us, do you have any other missionary moments, things that stick out to you?
Oh, yeah, of course. There's a lot. There's way too many.
All right, give me two more. So
Two
we'll
more. I
yeah,
got
we'll
it.
give you three.
Eighth grade year, one of the best endings to elementary school, because we had two great student missionaries with us, uh, Miss Banks and Miss Sosa. They're amazing duo. They really impacted me because they did a lot for us. You know, they always wanted us to stick together, to always stay happy, stay motivated, and it was just amazing because they did a lot of work for us.
Mhm.
They even pulled all nighters for us, like
Oh
to
wow.
yeah to like get us get the room like prepared and everything. It was crazy. I'll never forget them. You know, they made a really big impact on my life. Uh, I'd also like to say that they they kind of shaped my personality a bit. You know,
Oh wow.
I became a little happier that because of that. Because one day I wasn't feeling too good, and Miss Banks just straight up came up to me and said, "Hey, Callie, stay back after class." I was like, "Oh man, what did I do now, bro? I'm scared." And she just had a one-on-one talk with me. She's like, "Are you doing okay? You're not looking like yourself." I was like, "Oh dang, I guess I'm not." And it was just crazy that she could see that because sometimes I'm not feeling the best and I just play it off,
Mhm.
and other teachers, you know, they can't notice it, but she did. And
Wow.
I was like, dang, like I almost cried.
Hey man, that's what's up, man. That goes back to
Mhm.
what you're saying about connection. Like,
Connection, big connections.
man, it makes such a huge difference. And I love how you mentioned, like, you went from fourth grade, eighth grade, junior year, and you're just naming these missionaries off left and right. Like,
All
it's
right.
so cool to see how the positive impact that can be left is something that you guys just don't forget. Like, you guys don't take it for granted. And I really hope that people who go into the mission field don't take that experience for granted, because it's worth so much, so much. Man, can't
True.
say enough about that.
Mm-hmm. Always stays with me.
So you got one more.
Ooh, one more. Let me think. I need to think real deep about this.
You could
Uh,
shout out, because you didn't actually mention your fourth grade teacher, so you could shout her
oh,
out.
shout out. Oh, Miss Johnson. That was great. I remember. It's good times. Megan Johnson. Yep, I remember.
True, true. Yeah,
Mhm,
man. She's good people. She's actually married now.
mhm.
So she's not Johnson anymore. Although Johnson is such a great name, if I do say so myself. But but I will pass on the shout outs to all these people and let them know that you have not forgotten them, my man. I know
Never.
they'll appreciate that. So, every coin has two sides, So,
It's true.
so
Such
I,
is life.
such is life, man.
Such is life.
Man, tell me a little bit about the worst missionary moments. Some things that they did that you hated, you kind of lost respect for them for. And of course, we're gonna keep it incognito, but we
Mhm.
do want to keep it real and let our listeners know the types of things that the people in the places that we go to serve, uh, just don't vibe with them the right way.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say. I'd say. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Sure.
I think I'm good now.
All right.
All right. So I'd say I think my freshman year it wasn't as bad, but I just couldn't handle it because for one of the classes we did have a student missionary teaching us, and let's just say not all of us liked her. You know, she did things a little different. Well, because we as a class, I'd say we all like to have a little fun, do some group reading and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But she switched it up on us. Oh no, wait, no, this was sophomore year. Dang. Yeah, it was sophomore year. Yeah, it was crazy because we came from a teacher who taught us really well. She did really great. Shout out for she did really good. We loved her so much, but sophomore year everything changed. That class got more strict, and we just didn't like it. And we try to voice our opinion, like, oh, could we have this? Could we have more fun with that? It's like, nah, we
Mm.
don't want to. We'll just keep it serious. Essays, uh, read silently, like, dang, it's kind of rough. And just it was just the one incident with another one of my classmates. It was just crazy. It's like, oh, what do you guys think of this? My classmate had given his opinion. It's like, you need to raise your hand next time. Don't say things like that. Hey, bro.
Mm.
Hey. I mean, he was giving his opinion. She asked, but she's like, nah, your opinion's not right.
Oh man.
No. It was crazy.
Oh man. And I think it's a great learning opportunity. Again, we're doing this to try to let you guys know that there are things that you can do, and things that probably aren't as recommended, or that may not be as appreciated when we go into the mission field. Because I think it would be true and fair to say, I'm sure Callie would agree with me, that all the missionaries came out there to try to do their best in the classroom, but the lack of connection that may have been there between his class and this particular missionary may have resulted in the friction that the friction that happened as a result of answering and giving an opinion, or not really connecting with the vibe of the class, and understanding that, hey, there's a lot of great ways that you can interact this class and have a positive experience with them by catering more to them. And I want to say, like, especially in religion, this is something that I've noticed, where uh there's there's always, not always, it's not fair to say always, but more often than not, there seems to be this idea that if I believe something, then I must be correct, and I'm going to do whatever I can to show everyone else that what they're doing is wrong, and that they need to believe things and do things the way that I'm doing it, which is wrong on so many levels. Like, I can't go into into a place that I don't know the people, I don't know the culture, I don't know their background, and then the first thing I'm trying to present to them is that they're wrong. I have to take the time to understand where they're coming from. I have to take the time to understand why they think the way that they do. And then I have to see where the common ground is in the way that they think and the way that I think, and build that relationship. Uh, you can tell people and encourage people to do things in a better way if there's a relationship there, and the people can agree, yeah, you know what, maybe that's not the best way to do things, or maybe I can do things a little bit better. uh and you won't have any negative feedback because of the relationship. But if there's no connection, if there's no relationship there, it makes all the difference, and it can make an experience as a missionary a lot harder, simply because there's no connection and no relationship there between a missionary and the students and the people of whatever culture they're going to try to impact. So the point is, I want to caution those of you who are thinking to go out to missionaries. Yes, we always have the idea that we're going to change the world, but just because we're going, or we're wanting to go out and change the world, doesn't mean that the entire world is wrong, and doesn't mean that my perspective is the only one that is correct. We have to go into these places with an open mind and realize that, hey, let me see what I can learn about these people and where they come from and why they think the way they do. And I can guarantee you that as you make those connections, everything about your experience becomes easier. All right. Callie's on the move. I see him going around. I don't know if he put on his rucksack and he's making a march. I'm not sure. But
Yo, dude, could we pause for a bit, man? I gotta run. We had a emergency formation downstairs. I don't know.
all right,
It
man,
is
we
what it
got you.
is.
We'll take a break right here, and then we'll come back for part 2 of the pod. Make it happen, my man.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir. It's
my
all
bad.
good.
Ooh, dude.
All right, so we out here. This is take 2 of part 2. Welcome, welcoming Cali back to the pod. You know, he's out there got to do what he's got to do. Military, they can get you at any moment. Got to do,
True.
got to handle it. So we were just talking about uh, the impact and the disconnect between the mentality that can often be had by a missionary, understanding that where you are and for you to connect with people, you have to take into consideration the mentalities and the backgrounds and the culture, the stories of the people you're trying to reach, to find those common ground. And this is what's going to give you a much better experience in not just being a missionary as a teacher, but just as a person. And so that's something that we really wanted to highlight. And of course, we went into detail with that on our little commercial break there. So, Callie, coming back into it, I want to know: was there anything that you learned from missionaries?
Yeah, a lot. From patience all the way to respect. Patience, one, it's just dealing with, for our class, us, just dealing with us. Having patience to take charge or, calm the class down and just, just deal with a bunch of students you've never met before. And they're probably just rowdy, talking a lot, and it is what it is. And respect is for someone to come from somewhere else into a new culture, a new, just a new landscape, everything from tradition, and the fact that they come in and just respect that, and they don't, go, oh, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? It's just respect, like, wow, yeah, just respect.
All right, cool. And there's something, as we're talking here and trying to like hit the rewind button, there's something
It's hard.
I want to go back to, because this was really deep, and we definitely want to have this conversation so that you guys can hear it. It was going back to the idea of the not so great missionary moments, and I wanted to ask Callie again about kind of generally speaking, uh, what kinds of things did missionaries do, or the kind of ways that they acted that weren't received the best way?
Some of the things were interactions. Interactions between SMs outside of the classroom or outside of just the school or campus in general. And interactions between, I've seen a high school alumni with student missionary interactions.
Oh.
It was just kind of weird. It didn't seem right because they were, I don't know, to us they seemed like role models and professionals. So just seeing them do something like that, it's just nah.
Very, very unprofessional, huh?
It was done for me. I was like, I don't want to.
Wow. And I want to ask like a follow-up question to that. How, when you say that you were kind of done there, what did seeing that do to the way that missionary's impact was received amongst you guys as students?
Well, me personally, I just lost respect for them because at first I saw them like, oh, they're gonna teach me about God and they're gonna help me with my spiritual journey. And then just seeing that, and I was just like, nah, I don't believe you anymore.
Wow, that's so deep. Like, man, that's really deep because we do, missionaries. I understand that people may want to come into a new situation for adventure and to, do new things and experience new things. But at the same time, we have to realize that, these students, they really look up to us, and it's not something to be taken lightly. And, this goes back to this concept we're talking about, where if you separate the classroom from your entire experience, you're pretty much doomed as a missionary. And I say that because if I look at the experience in the classroom and say, because I'm done in the classroom, my job is done as a missionary, that's a completely backwards mentality. There's a connection between the way that we are in a classroom and the way that we are outside of the classroom. And I would say the way that we are outside of a classroom probably has the greatest impact on how we are in a classroom. That's where students get to know the real you and if the things that you're doing and promoting are legit or not. So, there are ways. It's not to say that you can't come out and have a good time and a good experience, but there are ways to do that where you're not hurting your ultimate mission. And obviously for missionaries, it can be tough to go into a place for 10 months and to feel like, I'm just not going to have relationship with anybody. That's hard. And I want to bring that up because even for me, for the time that I've been there, I had my struggles dealing with things like that. And, I definitely want to get this on wax and on the record that I wish that I would have spent, a lot of people look at what I've done in the time that I put in, so to speak, and they say, man, you did a lot. But even for me, when I look back and I think of the time that I spent involved with things that weren't all focused on the students, man, I wish I could get that time back. I really do. And I wish I could have put more into the student. Shoot, man, I'm getting emotional again, man. Now, I didn't expect to get hit with it twice, man, but it got me. Like, I really wish that I could get that back and give the students more. Like, man, there's always more to give. And in those moments, I wish I could have done that. I was telling Callie before, I could only hope and pray that that I still have the respect of the students. And, I know that many of them feel like I did a lot for them, but I want them to know that I wish I did more. And I wish that they would have been the entire focus of all my experience there, as opposed to the moments that I may have had here or there where I wasn't thinking about them. Because and here's another thing, now that we're kind of revisiting it, I can tell you, I never had drama with students. Never had drama with students. I had drama with other missionaries, though.
Oh.
We keeping it real, man. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that drama came from things like relationships. And for other missionaries, just as a witness, because I did get a little wiser to the fact. And later in my time there, I definitely took a back seat to all that kind of stuff and tried to focus on the students more. But when I would see missionaries who would get caught up in those kinds of things, as opposed to getting caught up in the mission and the reason that they're there in the first place, oh man, they're the ones who dealt with the most drama and who had the hardest time being there, because that focus was a little bit misguided. And I'm not saying that to accuse anyone, because again, I was there too, and like I said, I just hope and pray that I can still hold that high standard with the students, because that means a lot. It means a lot.
I'm sure you do, Coach. I bet if you go back to Palau right now, you'd just be like, hey, let's go to the bridge, let's go hang, let's do something from like all the classes probably. And even if they aren't there, like I'd be like, I want to go too.
My man, I appreciate that, man. Like it really means a lot. And I am glad that those types of things didn't ever get to a point where they were big enough to derail my experience there, because I know of people who chose not to come back, or man, I almost don't want to say that because it's like I'm putting people on blast, but hey, man, we got to keep it real. Missionaries and prospective missionaries out there, you may understand what I'm talking about, but if your experience ever gets to a point where you're willing to turn down your mission or to give up your mission because of a relationship, man, that's not the move, guys. It's not the move. And I've seen it happen before. And a lot of people, dang it, man. Dang. I feel like me talking about my experiences and regrets from that, I think the other individuals who have experienced that, whoever they are, wherever they are, I feel like they might feel the same way. So we just got to keep it real. And I can't hold back, because I'm the one who said it. We keep it real. So I got to say it. So yeah. Whew. Okay.
Got a little hot there.
Super warm, man. But It is what it is. And the bottom line is very simple, guys. Like the mission for me now, like I look at it and man, I was having the time of my life just being in service. And I love that. And being back here now, I realize even more how much I love that. And there is nothing that I would let get between me and being able to do that. And I'm not saying that everyone else has to be like me. Like definitely not, because I'm not perfect. All right. But man, when we go out into the mission field, just take a moment to think to yourself what really matters, and really think about the people you're going to serve and how much they really matter, because they deserve the best of whatever you bring out to the islands, whatever you bring to the mission field. Those people deserve the best in all of you. So I think that's a good way to kind of sum that point up with that real life. Man. All right. So, Callie, tell us about some of the biggest growing experiences that you had with missionaries.
Biggest growing experiences is that they got me to know more about God in many different ways that I didn't even know were possible. Like they got me to actually be excited. Like I'd be excited to go to Bible class, to listen to their worship talk. It's just crazy how much of an impact that had on me. Because it's crazy.
And that's the thing that I really appreciate about the mission work, especially, I'm not sure how they do it as much at the elementary school, but I know in the high school, it doesn't matter what class a teacher is responsible for. Everyone is required to give a little worship thought before their class, 5 minutes. And even in those moments right there is an opportunity for a teacher, a missionary, to share God, just a little piece of God with students, and to do it in a way that's in such a different perspective. I mean, how many classes do you go through in a day? Like eight different classes or so. And you're getting different perspectives every single time. Boom, 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 repeated. And it can make such a big impact. And, I want to give this as encouragement. Again, we're talking about how making sure that the focus is in the right place, and realizing that missionaries, your job is not to go there to be a math teacher. Your job is not to go there to teach PE. It's to teach about God. Take advantage of those few moments that you have in your class, if it's not a religion class, to share, because man, your students can connect with you in the way that you've connected with God, and it can impact them in such a great way.
And with those moments, gonna have a deja vu right here. With those moments, the way that they put it in, the stories that they tell us, when they put that story and it impacts their life, they give a life story where it's happened to them. You're like, whoa, it's real. Like it's happened. You can see it happen. Like they've been a witness, and you're just like, it makes it even more believable.
Yes, man, that's so deep. Like, I love that, and I'm literally getting chills again. I love that because, dude, like that's what it's all about. In our mentalities, we got to get away from the thing of thinking, man, I'm here and I'm in this experience, and everyone else is in their own different experiences, and it's hard for us to connect. Like, there's something there where it's just you as a missionary being in front of a group of students and sharing how you've connected with God. That can help your students connect to God through connecting with you. It's so deep, and it doesn't even have to take long. It could take 3 minutes in a math class. it can literally take 3 minutes in study hall,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be what it takes to help a student see how they can connect with God as well. And this is something I mentioned to Callie, and it's so cool how every single one of these episodes that we've done, the perspective of the person I'm talking with tells me what the theme and what the title of the episode needs to be. And this one here, no doubt, is something to do with connecting. Like connecting, that's the biggest thing about it. Like that's so deep, man. So simple, and yet so profound.
Oh yeah. I also like to add also the worship thoughts. They always somehow always help one person in our class.
Mm.
We always had a saying in our class, it's a sign.
Yeah.
Because when a teacher would give a worship talk and one person or maybe two would be like, yo, it's the same worship talk again and again. It must
Mm.
be it's like it's telling us something. It's telling someone something. And we just say, it's a sign, it's a sign. Because it would be the same exact worship thought, the same exact topic. And I'm pretty sure they don't organize worship talks.
Nah, you're right.
So we just say, it's a sign, it's a sign.
And dude, like even that is so incredible there because I really hope we talked about how exciting and adventurous and boisterous your class could be in particular. And like I hope that teachers didn't take it the wrong way or get offended when you guys would do that because I can't even say that I understood it fully. Yeah, I was the Bible teacher, you know, but what I can say, you know, in talking to you right now, it's so incredible how attuned you guys actually are. And it shows for teachers who didn't think that you guys are processing and picking up on everything, dude, y'all picked up on everything. Like and I could just say, going back to what we were saying before, students picked up on stuff the missionaries don't even know they picked up on. And in the Palau culture in particular, it's one where unless you're very direct and you want to know something specific about a certain thing, a Palauan may not tell you. You know, so you got to be aware because you may catch the vibe that the environment around you has changed, and you may not realize that it's because of something that you did. But hey, something happened, and the vibe did change around you because of that something. So be aware, be aware. Like these guys, they're so smart, they're so intelligent, and they pick up on stuff. And I wanted to mention that because it goes back to what I was saying before during the break. Like just because I'm coming from my culture and coming into this new one, it's not for me to infuse my new location with everything that I brought with me. You know, I can learn from what's around me. And if I take a back seat and try to learn more instead of trying to teach more when I get into a new environment, chances are my impact in terms of learning and teaching is going to increase. So, you know, keep that in mind, those of you who are going to be missionaries. We, again, you know, we want to go out there and make a difference and change the world, so to speak, for God. And that's all well and good. But unless you take the time to understand and to give people credit for how intelligent they are, you're never going to be able to make that impact. All right. So, you know, you may have seen a lot of different things during your time, and some of it maybe you just kind of were like whatever about, and others you might have been like, man, I wish they would have done something better there or something different there. What kind of advice or encouragement would you have given missionaries in your experience with them?
A big thing, I'd say, be patient with us and students, because I know that we like to talk a lot, and we might be rowdy, but just be patient with us. And also, I'd say be yourself, because being fake doesn't do anything for anybody.
Mercy.
You know? And we really appreciate when you know you're being yourself, and we just can connect with you more, and we just have some fun while doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, take it day by day. I actually see it now, because I've been gone from my home for about 6 months. If you're always looking, like, oh, it's gonna, I leave at June, I leave at June, I leave at June, I leave at June, I'm gone. I can't wait. It's not gonna make it go by any faster. Probably just gonna make it slower. Probably gonna be worse. But taking it day by day, you know, talking with someone, you know, just looking for the little things, you know, that make life even better, you know, that make that day even better.
Yes.
Just that one conversation you had with that one person, hey, that was the highlight of my day. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfect.
Man, keeping it simple, man. I love it. I keep telling y'all, this dude's a chaplain. Man.
Learn from the best.
My man. Hey, God is good, man. God is good. I gotta say I learned from the best too. Oh man. So I think that's awesome, because patience, man, trust in the process. It can be hard as missionaries. Um, Obviously there were a lot of people who thought I was crazy for staying as long as I did and wanting to keep on staying. And I know that there were some who just couldn't wait to do their own thing, as they kind of had already been doing while they were there, you know. But a lot of that comes with, and we think of society right now, it's a very, everything I want it right now. And I don't think there's anything, it sounds cliche to say it, but there's not going to be anything that you really, really want in life that you're going to have immediately. Like, everything takes time. And especially for those of you who are considering missions, when you get out there, don't forget the reason why you went. If we went for it to be easy and for everything to be agreeable with us, man, just stay home, to be honest. Like, because in your bubble is the only place where you're going to find that. If you get out of your comfort zone, everything is not going to agree with you. You're not going to be able to get access to whatever you want whenever you want. Like, it doesn't work like that. The world is not, it doesn't work like that. So you have to be patient. If you went out there to experience something good and it doesn't start out good, give it time to get good. See what you can do to make it better. Like, be that's such great advice that you can give. And that might be some of the best advice you can give to missionaries, just in life, period. That's just life advice, man. All right, Chaplain, I see you. So give us a little insight about, what do you think missionaries should know, generally speaking, before they go out to serve?
Before you go out to serve, um, just keep in mind that we like to have fun. we're I mean, if some of you think that we live in grass huts, we don't. We really don't. So yeah, just keep in mind that we like to have fun. We're people too. We're not just we're not robots. We're not gonna sit in class and just sit down silently. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna talk here and there. So yeah, just remember that you're not coming to teach people who don't know English.
Mm.
Maybe maybe for an ESL teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we know English pretty well, so just be prepared for that. And if someone talks in Palau and you don't understand and you feel like they're talking bad about you, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's probably not that bad. And if you really want to know, hey, hit me up. I can give you a translation.
All right, there we go. You got connection right here. TKO gonna hook you up.
Online translation.
You need an app for that. I need an app for that, man. I don't know enough Palau for the time that I was there, man. That was such a struggle. I tried on multiple occasions, but man, it is so complex. The funny thing is, I love languages, but I'm not really good at learning them. I'm just not. Oh man. Why do you think missionaries should take the time to serve?
Why should they serve? Well, that's a really good question. It's the same as why should you be a witness? Well, the ultimate goal is to bring more people to God, or to help people learn more about Jesus. Like, I bet if I didn't go to SDA or PMA, would I still know about God? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, because my family's not that religious. So I don't think I ever would have, unless I had a really good friend, like say, hey, let's go to church or something. It's all about that connection. Man, it just keeps going back to connections. It's always having someone help you through that journey. Like, it may not be at your home, but school, like, I know not a lot of people look forward to school, but once it's gone, I know a lot of people miss it now due to the virus, but I miss it too. I still miss going back to school, because mostly just because of the people. That's the big thing. Connections that take you there. Ooh.
Isn't that crazy, man? I feel you on that, man. It's so, again, man, it sounds so simple, but it's so profound. I love it, man. So I think we know the answer to this question, but I still have to ask it because you got to tell the people what they want to know. Do you think that missionaries really make a difference?
Yes, absolutely. Coming from 12 years of straight student missionaries every single year, learning from every single one of them, their different experiences, their different life stories, where they came from, their backgrounds. It's just crazy to see like how God works through in so many different ways. Like it's
Wow.
crazy. So once you bring that experience to, someone maybe starting all the way from, first grade, or maybe you're teaching someone their first year in PMA, their senior year, it's still gonna make an impact no matter what.
Wow. That's so powerful, man. I love it. I love it that missionaries can be, there's such a great potential for a missionary to literally be the connection between God and someone of a different background. And it's not something to be taken lightly. We learned that there's a lot of things that we can do that hurt that connection and make it harder for a student to be able to see God in us. And I feel like that's such great advice and encouragement, not just for missions, but life in general. Man, it hits on so many different levels. It hits on so many different levels. But it's a fact, man. Can't forget what the purpose is, and it's to reflect and to be a witness in everything, man. Dang, man, it comes down to that. I'm telling you, bro, man. Callie, I gotta thank you for taking time on the pod, man. This has been like mind blowing. I gotten chills so many times in the conversation, and it's just like, dude, I miss it. Every time I talk with one of you guys, I'm like, dang, man, I want to go back. And I'm so happy to be able to do this now, because to see and to learn more and understand it from your perspective, like I feel like it almost would have been impossible to take the time to do it with everybody while I was in Palau because of all the different things that I was being required to do. But now why not? Like, I want to go back, and I want to know, and I want to catch up with everyone and see what they think and the things that they learned and the ways that they grew and the way that it's impacted them now. And it's been such an encouragement to me to see that. And like, y'all are growing up, man. It's incredible. Like, literally, I knew this guy from 4th grade, and look at him now, out here representing, making a difference. Dude, absolutely incredible. I'm thankful for your service, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you taking the time out of your schedule to be with us and to share about how missionaries have impacted you, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I love it. Anything to get more missionaries, to go pull out. I know we don't have a lot sometimes, and it's hard to get missionaries. Not even just Palau, but just in the islands in general. So
True.
I feel like it's a good opportunity to enlighten some people and just to show them, hey, it actually sounds pretty fun.
No doubt. 100%, man. 100%. So, hey, I got to thank you guys for listening to this episode of Go the Mission. Once again, this is your host, Corey Johnson. Every weekend, a new episode is going to drop. And whatever platform you're listening on, like, subscribe, and share so we can continue to get the mission out there. If you have any questions about missions, or you're wondering how you can be a missionary, let me know. If you want anything translated from Palauan, let Callie know. We'll make that happen. And you can reach me by email using gothemission@gmail.com, or feel free to drop a comment or a message through social media or YouTube. Finally, remember, to exist, it's not enough. We out here to be out here. Until next time, peace.